Now on CoastTV News.
Circle sleeping changes as Georgetown deals with a homeless situation. How the Circle in the downtown is a part of the issue.
Delaware's nuclear debate, what state officials are looking at today in an effort to meet Delaware's growing energy needs.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Some of us away from the beaches, waking up to some patchy frost this morning. A pleasant, dry start to the week with cool temperatures, but I'm tracking some big changes. Rain, wind returns to Delmarva. I'll have details coming up.
Fluharty and the Jays in L.A. How the Lewis native has played a key role in the World Series with Game 3 on tap for tonight.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly, and thank you for joining us. It's Monday, October 27th, 2025.
Yeah, Grace, you and I have been tracking the situation. We've got a heads up for drivers as you make your way out this morning. We're still tracking a crash in western Sussex County. It's due to a crash in the area where Route 16 intersects with US 13.
Right, and State Police and DelDOT are reporting the northbound lane of Route 13 is closed. We turn now to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono, who joins us with a first look at the forecast. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Grace and Matt, and a pleasant good morning, Delmarva. It was an absolutely beautiful weekend, and we're going to carry that momentum over into our Monday, and it's quite a cold start away from the beaches. We're at 47 right now in Ocean View, but you can see just to the west, 34 Redden, 34 Harrington, and we're at 37 in Laurel, so some patchy frost is possible away from the beaches. Winds are relatively calm, visibility not much of an issue. We've seen some minor fog there around Easton. We do have that frost advisory continuing for inland Sussex County, as well as Kent and Talbot counties. That runs through about 9 a.m. We are dry, and we're going to stay that way. You can see this activity to the south of Norfolk, most of that not reaching the surface, but we are tracking low pressure across Mississippi. This is going to push eastward off the East Coast as we go into Tuesday, and eventually we'll see some showers and a few, and winds are really going to begin picking up as we go into Tuesday afternoon through Tuesday evening. So temperatures beginning in the 30s for most of us this morning, 40s at the coast, partly cloudy skies, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the morning and afternoon. Then we're looking at windy, damp conditions for Tuesday, and then a ghoulish mid to late week as we're tracking a more significant storm system that will bring another round of rain and wind Wednesday through Thursday. So we're looking at partly cloudy skies through the afternoon today with highs topping out around 60. I'll talk more about that system coming in late this week in that 7-day forecast. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this morning, rules could soon change for when people can sleep in the Georgetown Circle.
CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is live with us now in Georgetown. Elisa, today the town council holding a second reading of an ordinance that changes the current rules.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. I am here in the Georgetown Circle where rules could be changing as to when you can sleep here. Currently, you're not allowed to sleep here between the hours of 3 p.m. to 7 a.m. But today the town council is holding a second reading of an ordinance that would ban sleeping here from sunset to sunrise. And this ordinance comes after much public outcry as many in Georgetown say that homeless individuals are becoming overrun in the town, especially along the town's train tracks and wooded areas. The Georgetown Police Department confirmed that it receives complaints about panhandling on a daily basis. However, officials noted that sitting on sidewalks and holding signs is considered protected free speech under the law. And after the second reading of that ordinance today, new rules could be adopted. Back to you.
Lisa Weber, thank you. Also tonight, the Georgetown Planning Commission has a public hearing about allowing cottage housing developments in town. The goal of Little Living LLC, that is a Delaware-based nonprofit, is to provide 22 affordable housing units to people in the area. But before all that happens, Georgetown needs to amend the current urban residential 1 zone. This is to allow cottage housing developments. Tony Vinciguerra, a board member and secretary of Little Living, says the nonprofit has received loans and other donations to help fund this project.
All this is meant to fit in within their existing income so that they can then spend the rest of their money on health care, automobiles, taking their kids to events and so forth.
According to Little Living LLC, monthly rent for 1-bedroom homes will go at $950, 2 bedrooms $1,100, 3 bedrooms at $1,200. All include utilities and internet access. This just in, after a number of calls for his removal, the chair of the Democratic Party Sussex County, Jeff Balk, submitted his resignation. This is video of Balk from earlier this year. He posted the resignation on the Democratic Party Sussex County, Delaware Facebook page last night. In his statement, Balk said he did not want to become a distraction to the candidates who are running in the 2026 cycle. This is a developing story. Stay tuned to Coast TV for updates when they become available.
Severe weather moved through Florida over the weekend. More than a foot of rain fell across portions of central Florida on Sunday. A rare flash flood emergency remains in effect for some parts of that state. The threat for heavy rain continues through parts of central Florida today. Happening today, back home in Delaware, lawmakers are taking a fresh look at nuclear power. A new nuclear energy feasibility task force meets today from 10 a.m. to noon at Legislative Hall in Dover. According to lawmakers, the bipartisan group will study small modular reactors, examining costs, regulations, reliability, and environmental impacts. A release from Delaware Senate Majority Caucus says, according to the United States Energy Information Administration, Delaware currently uses nearly 100 times more energy than it produces.
Also happening today, Bethany Beach is working to fight erosion, but not on the coastline. According to the town, crews will begin the months-long process to build an 855-foot retaining wall along the Delaware Beach Loop Canal. This is to stop erosion and protect natural habitat. And it is a project that is over $1 million, and for years, those in the town have said the Loop Canal has been a big source of flooding. For more information on the years it took to get this project off the ground, head to the article on our website, CoastTV.com.
The downtown Millsboro area still adjusting to that new Millsboro bypass that opened almost a month ago. A main complaint has been trucks still passing through downtown. Some people are seeming to be frustrated by the traffic. A frequent visitor at the starting lineup barbershop, Antonio Satchel, says he likes the new overpass, but its success likely won't reveal itself until this summer.
I do like the bypass. I love it. It just look different to be this little Delaware, lower, slower down here. I love it.
While the bypass has been open, DelDOT says it will not be completely finished until 2026.
New this morning, there's a focus in Lewis on several infrastructure and environmental projects. Here's what we're talking about. This is at a joint meeting between the mayor and city council and the Board of Public Works. According to the agenda, they plan to review updates on the 4th Street water, sewer, stormwater, and street project, and other topics. This is at a 1 p.m. meeting. It's being held at the Margaret H. Rollins Community Center.
Also new this morning, people in Lewis will have one last chance to weigh in on plans for the future of Great Marsh Park. This at a public engagement session tonight. According to the agenda, attendees will be able to review conceptual plans for the board and ask final questions before the plan is submitted to the Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control. This takes place at 5 p.m. tonight at the Margaret H. Rollins Community Center.
President Trump is in Japan this morning. It's the next stop on his 3-country Asia tour. It's all leading up to a highly anticipated meeting with China's president.
And NBC's Alice Barr shows us how word of a break in the stalemate over a critical trade deal could impact conversations.
President Trump arriving in Japan this morning for the second leg of his Asia tour. The trip set to culminate in a meeting Thursday in South Korea with Chinese President Xi Jinping amid an apparent breakthrough in high-stakes trade talks.
I think we'll have a good deal with China, and they want to make a deal.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on NBC's Meet the Press announcing a framework for a trade deal to avoid President Trump's threatened 100% tariff increase on Chinese imports to the U.S.
I believe we've reached a very substantial framework that will avoid that and allow us to discuss many other things with the Chinese.
Inking a deal would help to wind down the trade war between the world's 2 biggest economies, while at the same time tensions ratcheting up with one of America's closest allies.
Canada has been ripping us off for a long time. One of the most difficult countries to deal with has been Canada.
President Trump doubling down on slapping an additional 10% tariff on goods coming in from Canada because of an anti-tariff Government of Ontario TV ad featuring segments edited from a 1987 radio address by President Reagan.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
The ad ran during the World Series over the weekend, but Ontario's premier says it will stop today. No meeting over the weekend when Canada's Prime Minister and President Trump were both in Malaysia for a trade summit, leaving a mixed picture on trade as American businesses and consumers wait for the impact on prices at home. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Pretty crazy video to show you here. Crews rushed to the Mardella boat ramp on Saturday night after reports of a truck in the Nanticoke River, and that's exactly what they found. Firefighters say no one was inside. We have reached out to the Wacombe County Sheriff's Office for more information on this car.
Tonight, it's Game 3 of the World Series, but let's look back to Game 1 on Friday. Lewis native Mason Fluharty in a tie game in the 5th strikes out the Dodgers everything. Shohei Ohtani. Fluharty's Blue Jays would win that game, and now the scene shifts to Los Angeles for Game 3 with the series tied at a game apiece.
We're just getting started here in this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, Battle of the High School Bands, the two competitions taking place across Delmarva over the weekend.
Also, Melissa making a major impact. We'll show you just some of the damage already happening at areas in the path of the storm.
And Rehoboth Restaurant moves. This construction work right here is making one popular food spot say goodbye to its current location, and we're going to tell you where it plans to reopen. And there is First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. He's in the Weather Center tracking our temperatures, and we're going to check in with him next.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Hope you had a wonderful weekend as we take a live look into Lewis. Some breezy conditions there. We're at 38 degrees. Elsewhere, we're at 34 in Redden, 34 in Harrington, 38 Gumboro, and 42 in Salisbury. So some patchy frost. More interior Delmarva this morning. We are dry, partly cloudy skies through the morning and afternoon. You can see shower activity well off to our south. So another dry, pleasant day on the peninsula. Highs around 62 Lewis. A bit more in the cloud cover, I think, through Ocean City down through Chincoteague through the afternoon. Winds picking up, northeast winds anywhere between about 15 to 25 miles an hour. So we begin the week dry, and then we see things begin to change as we go into Tuesday, primarily in the afternoon, in the evening as showers and drizzle develops, and those winds are really going to begin picking up at the coast tomorrow, gusting 40 to 45 miles an hour, and that could lead to some minor coastal flooding. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. The beloved Rehoboth Beach restaurant Eden is moving. In a social media post, the restaurant said it's leaving Baltimore Avenue after New Year's Eve to move where Red, White, and Basil is on the highway. Eden says Red, White, and Basil will close on November 2nd. Eden's been in Baltimore for 20 years and says Jam Bistro will be where Co-host Market is now on the avenue.
And here is why Eden is moving and Jam was torn down. Construction for the Atlantic Crown Hotel is going to take place right next to the existing Atlantic Sands, and where Jam was and Eden is.
Amazon has announced Prime members will now be able to get 25 cents off every gallon of gas at participating BP, Amoco, and AM/PM stations. This offer runs through December 26th. But is only good on Fridays, and in order to redeem that perk, you need to get a free Earnify account and link it to your Amazon account. But don't worry if you miss out, because Prime members will still be able to get their normal 10 cents off a gallon once this promotional period ends.
Southwest Airlines offering customers a chance to surf the net while they soar in the sky. The Dallas-based carrier now has free in-flight Wi-Fi for passengers who are Rapid Rewards members. This comes as Southwest is making big changes to its operation, including the introduction of new fare tiers and checking back fees. And in 2026, it plans to unveil assigned seating.
Starting our week on a pleasant dry note, our morning temperatures rising from the 30s, 40s through the upper 50s to lower 60s this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. So a pleasant dry start to the week, but that's going to change as we go into Tuesday and towards the middle part of the week. We're going to deal with multiple storm systems that are going to be rain and wind to the area. I'll break it all down when Coast TV News Today continues.
Time is 6:19, and here's a live look at the wind at the Roosevelt Inlet. You can see it on the flags on the left side of this picture here. And Chris, you're tracking wind conditions. You're saying with tomorrow is more of an issue than it is today.
Yeah, it'll be breezy today, but those winds are really going to begin picking up tomorrow as an area of low pressure passes to our south. And quite mild at the coast, upper 40s to lower 50s, but further inland, that's where we could see some of that patchy frost here over the next few hours with temperatures 34 in Redden and 34 in Harrington. Winds further inland, relatively calm, but we're seeing some winds upwards of 5 to 15 miles an hour at the coast. As I mentioned, that frost advisory, Caroline, Kent, Sussex, Talbot counties, excluding the beaches, that runs through 9 a.m. We have a gale watch off the Delaware coast through Wednesday, and then we now have a gale warning up from Ocean City all the way down through the entire length of the Delmarva Peninsula. That runs through Wednesday at 6 a.m. with winds as high as 40 to 45 miles an hour. You can see some shower activity across the Outer Banks. Most of this across Virginia is not reaching the ground, but most of the rain we're going to see is going to come tomorrow. It's going to be rather light as that area of low pressure tracks off the southeast coast. We're at 37 in Laurel, one of our cool spots this morning, 54 by around 10 a.m. under partly cloudy skies. So a pleasant afternoon. Temperatures right around the lower 60s, so similar to where we've been for the weekend. And there's those winds gusting upwards of 20, 25 miles an hour out of the northeast. But watch as we go into tomorrow morning. They really ramp up 30 to near 40 tomorrow afternoon through the evening as that persistent northeast wind will be with us, and that could lead to some coastal flooding issues as we go through the high tide cycles tomorrow. Now, we're going to remain dry through today, partly cloudy skies, mostly cloudy overnight, and then a lot of clouds for Tuesday. Most of the day is dry, but as we go into the afternoon and the evening, we'll begin to see some moisture stream into the area. This is generally light precip. Then as we go into Wednesday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers. Then we're looking at some heavier precip as we go into Wednesday night. So that area of low pressure stays primarily to our south. If anyone sees some moderate to heavier rainfall, I think that's across Accomack County. Other than that, we see mostly nuisance shower activity through Wednesday. Then Wednesday into Thursday, we deal with a stronger storm system. That will bring a round of some heavier rain, even a rumble of thunder as that area of low pressure tracks to our west. We see that rain spread into the area Thursday through Thursday afternoon. Now, the good news is it's out of here by Halloween with breezy conditions. Now, rainfall totals only order of 1 to as high as 2 inches as we go from that system Wednesday through Thursday night. Here's Hurricane Melissa, a powerful storm at this hour is the latest advisory, Category 5 hurricane moving slowly west at 3 miles an hour. And this is just going to crush Jamaica here over the next 24 hours, then go back over the water and hit Cuba, and then eventually the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos as a Category 2 hurricane as we go into later next week. But you can see it stays well offshore and won't be impacting us as we go later on in the week. We dry out from the rain Thursday, 61 for Halloween. It'll be a breezy day for the trick-or-treaters. And then we are looking at a drier, pleasant weekend with temperatures right around 62. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Now, we had a lot of people at Sea Witch ask our Coast TV meteorologist, including Chris, about Hurricane Melissa. That is a hurricane that is expected to strengthen into a Category 5 storm. We have video here from Haiti and Jamaica where the storm is already wreaking havoc.
Yeah, Matt, and here's some more footage in Jamaica where people are being asked to evacuate after forecasters say Melissa will cause catastrophic and life-threatening flash flooding as well as numerous landslides.
As for the homes and businesses that must stay in place, people in Jamaica are lining the perimeters with sandbags. You can see some of them right there on your screen. There are stacks of them in front of many places in the hopes of protecting them from the flooding.
Up next on Coast TV News today, Battle of the High School Bands. We'll show you the performances from students over the weekend in both Maryland and Delaware. We'll be right back. Saturday was an exciting day for student musicians across the peninsula. 2 band competitions took place over the weekend. First, schools in Delaware and Eastern Maryland met in Middletown for the Tournament of Bands. That's a state-level competition. And in Salisbury, bands from over across Maryland Marching Band Association performed at the Wicomico County Stadium.
Well, it's a frosty start for some of us west of the beaches this morning as we take a live look into a breezy Lewis, 38 degrees there. And it's going to be a beautiful afternoon in Ocean City and Fenwick Island under partly cloudy skies. We're at 58 there, 59 there through the lunchtime hour. Enjoy today because tomorrow expecting showers and a lot of wind at the coast. Lewis, we're at 59 by around your lunchtime. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. Cambridge, a beautiful afternoon as we hover right around the 60-degree mark. In addition to Crisfield, breezy conditions upwards of 20-25 miles an hour. We have Lori Rourke, Fishing Creek, Maryland. You're the winner of our Coast TV weather umbrella. And as always, you get your latest forecast by dialing the First Alert weather phone. We will talk more about two systems that will be impacting the region this week. I'll break that down in the next half hour.
Thanks, Chris. After the break on Coast TV News today, construction at Loop Canal will outline the work taking place in Bethany Beach today.
Also, proposed homes permits. I'll tell you what Georgetown officials say needs to change to allow for a new type of development.
And circle sleeping subject to change. We'll tell you about an ordinance that could amend a ban in Georgetown. Coast TV News returns after the break.
Now on Coast TV News.
River Ramp Rescue, what emergency crews found in Mardella and what they are still trying to learn.
Circle sleeping changes as Georgetown deals with a homeless situation. How the Circle in the downtown is a part of the issue.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Some of us away from the beaches, waking up to some patchy frost this morning. A pleasant, dry start to the week with cool temperatures, but I'm tracking some big changes. Rain, wind returns to Delmarva. I'll have details coming up.
Bethany battles erosion. We look at what the town is considering to help fortify the Loop Canal.
This is Coast TV News Today.
October 27th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Saccarelli, and thank you for joining us.
6:30 a.m. and Grace, we're still tracking that crash. That's Route 13 in western Sussex County. It did force the closure of the northbound lane there.
Right, Matt. And state police and DelDOT still reporting those lanes are closed in the area where 13 intersects Route 16. We're joined now by First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono, joining us to help prepare you as you make your way out the door.
Good morning, Grace and Matt. A pleasant good morning to you, Delmarva. Yes, it's a cold start, especially away from the beaches this morning as we take a live look into Ocean View, where it is 47 degrees there, partly cloudy skies. You can see temperatures away from the coast. We're at 39 in Millsboro, 34 Harrington, 37 in Laurel, and we're at 42 in Salisbury. Winds for the most part are calm, and we'll see some breezy conditions, especially at the beaches through the afternoon. We have this frost advisory that continues through 9 a.m. for interior Sussex County, Kent, as well as Talbot and Caroline counties. We'll stay dry today, tracking an area of low pressure well to our south, and you can see it stationed across portions of Missouri and Alabama. This system is going to push eastward off the Carolinas as we go into the day tomorrow. So we're expecting dry conditions to start this week. And then as we go into Tuesday, windy. Yes, those gusts upwards of 40, 45 miles an hour at the beaches. And that could prompt some minor coastal flooding as we go into high tide tomorrow night. But showers and drizzle will be with us tomorrow afternoon through the evening. But today, enjoy it. Another beautiful day, similar to where we were at over the weekend with those highs in the lower 60s. We'll talk more about the rain tomorrow, as well as a more significant storm system Wednesday into Thursday coming up here in a little bit.
Thanks, Chris. Now, our top story at this half hour, rules could soon change for when people can sleep in the Georgetown Circle.
Yeah, the Circle that's where we find Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber. Today, the town council is holding a second reading of an ordinance that changes the current rules. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yes, I am here in the Georgetown Circle where rules could be changing when you're allowed to sleep here. Currently, you are not allowed to sleep in the Circle from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. But today the town council is holding a second reading of an ordinance that would ban sleeping right here in the Circle from sunset to sunrise. And this ordinance comes after much public outcry as many people in Georgetown say that the town is being overtaken by homeless individuals, especially along the town's train tracks and wooded areas. The Georgetown Police Department confirmed that it receives complaints about panhandling on a daily basis. However, officials noted that sitting on sidewalks and holding signs is considered protected free speech under the law.
All the time. There's just too much, homeless.
And after the second reading of that ordinance tonight, we could see a change in rules. Back to you.
Lisa Weber, thank you for that. Now, also in Georgetown, the Planning Commission is having a public hearing about allowing cottage housing developments in the town. The goal of Little Living LLC, that's a Delaware-based nonprofit, is to provide 22 affordable housing units to people in the area. But before all that happens, Georgetown needs to amend the current urban residential 1 zone to allow cottage housing developments. And according to Little Living LLC, monthly rent for 1-bedroom homes is at $950, 2-bedroom homes at $1,100, and 3 bedrooms at $1,200. All of them include utilities and internet access.
This just in after a number of calls for his removal. The chair of the Democratic Party of Sussex County, Jeff Balk, submitted his resignation. This is video of Balk from earlier this year. He posted the resignation on the Democratic Party Sussex County, Delaware Facebook page last night. In that statement, Balk said he did not want to become a distraction to the candidates who are running in the 2026 cycle. Now, this is a developing story, so make sure you stay tuned to CoastTV News for updates when they do become available.
Happening today, Bethany Beach is working to fight erosion, but it's not on the coastline. According to town officials, crews will begin the months-long process of building an 855-foot retaining wall along the Delaware Beach Loop Canal. This is to stop erosion and protect natural habitat. It's a nearly $1.4 million project. For years, people living in the town have said the Loop Canal is a source of flooding.
Also happening today, Delaware lawmakers taking a fresh look at nuclear power. A new nuclear energy feasibility task force meets today from 10 a.m. to noon at Legislative Hall in Dover. Now, according to lawmakers, the bipartisan group will study small modular reactors. They'll be examining cost, regulations, reliability, and environmental impacts. According to a release from Delaware's Senate Majority Caucus, says according to the United States Energy Information Administration, Delaware currently uses nearly 100 times more energy than it produces.
Downtown Millsboro area, it's still adjusting to the new bypass that opened almost a month ago. A main complaint is that trucks are still using the downtown, and some people are seeming to be frustrated by that traffic. While the bypass has been open, DelDOT says it will not be completely finished until 2026.
We have some pretty crazy video to show you here. Take a look at your screen. Crews rushed to the Mardella boat ramp Saturday night after reports of a truck in the Nanticoke River, and that's exactly what they found. Firefighters say no one was inside. We have reached out to the Wacomico County Sheriff's Office for more information on this car.
New overnight, this week President Trump will be sitting down with Chinese leader Xi Jinping for their first face-to-face meeting since Trump won re-election. The talks come after months of escalating threats between the two countries.
Right, and as Reed Binion shows us, there may be an end in sight.
I believe that we have the framework for the two leaders to have a very productive meeting for both sides.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Sunday outlining the framework for a U.S.-China trade deal to avoid imposing an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports.
I think it will be fantastic for U.S. citizens, for U.S. farmers, and for our country in general.
President Donald Trump is set to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping Thursday in South Korea on the final leg of Trump's 3-country tour of Asia. On Air Force One over the weekend, Trump previewed what he hopes to achieve with the meeting.
A complete deal. I want our farmers to be taken care of, and he wants things also. We're going to be talking about fentanyl, of course. I think we have a really good chance of making a very comprehensive deal.
Halting Chinese exports of fentanyl's precursor chemicals was part of the framework U.S. and Chinese negotiators reached. On another component of the framework, Bessent said China will make substantial purchases of U.S. soybeans.
I'm also anticipating that we will get some kind of a deferral on the rare earth export controls that the Chinese had discussed.
Also, the two leaders are expected to finalize a deal to allow TikTok's U.S. operations to continue. In September, the White House announced an American investor group led by Oracle's Larry Ellison would operate the app's algorithm in the U.S. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
French police have made arrests in connection with that daylight jewelry heist at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Officials say 2 men were taken into custody on suspicion of organized theft and criminal conspiracy, and investigators are still working to locate all the perpetrators involved, as well as locate the 8 pieces of stolen crown jewels that have an estimated value of $102 million.
One person has been killed and 6 others hurt after a shooting in Lincoln University in Chester County on Pennsylvania on Saturday. Police say Zacchaeus Morgan Thompson of Wilmington, Delaware, currently in custody and facing a charge of carrying a concealed firearm without a license. That shooting took place outside of the school's International Cultural Center during a homecoming weekend event.
Disturbing video there. Okay, we got a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up on Coast TV News today, medical call chaos. We'll tell you about a medical call that turned more serious in Millsboro.
Also, McLaurin's return. We're expecting Washington's big play threat back in the lineup. We hear from Terry ahead of tonight's game against the Chiefs. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Hope your Monday morning is off to a great start. It's a cold start, especially away from the beaches this morning, whereas we take a live look into Lewis, pretty breezy as well. 38 degrees there with that onshore wind beginning. We're at 51 Bethany Beach, we're at 34 Redden, and we're at 39 in Seaford. You could see we're dry at the moment. Some light rain to our south. For the most part, that's going to stay to our south for now. You can see the temperature trend over the last 5 days. We were around 59 on Saturday, 61 for our high on Sunday. So temperatures around 50 by around 9 this morning. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. A really nice day was we topped right around 60 degrees, but that's going to change as we go into tomorrow. We're looking at scattered showers to develop across the area, windy conditions, and then a more significant storm system rolls in Wednesday through Thursday. I'll detail that more in my full 7-day forecast here in a little bit. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. In traffic news, a heads up for drivers on Route 1 near Milton. DelDOT says beginning today, crews will install pavement markings and signs to reconfigure crossovers on Route 1 between Broadkill River and Reds Fox Lane. According to DelDOT, this will improve safety by reducing conflict points. During the work, drivers should expect delays due to those lane closures. Also, a heads up for drivers in Millsboro. On your screen now is where DelDOT says closures will take place starting today in order to reconstruct the roadway. It's Godwin School Road between Revel Road and Millsboro Highway. The agency says the closure is scheduled to last now through November 2nd.
Tonight, Washington closes out Week 8 of the NFL season with a roadie at the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Burgundy and Gold have lost 2 in a row, but tonight they're looking to get a jump start to the offense with a return of wide receiver Terry McLaurin. McLaurin has missed the last 4 games and dealing with a right quad injury. This could be a big boost for Washington quarterback Marcus Mariota, who is making another start for the injured Jaden Daniels. This recent slide's been frustrating for McLaurin to watch from afar.
I have skin in the game, but I haven't been out there, you know what I mean? And so I'm part of this team. I've been as entrenched as I can while being away, but at the same time, like my presence not being on the field, you know, is tough for me. And I'm just looking forward to putting my best foot forward this weekend and really helping this team try to get a win.
Washington looks to get back to 500 with a win tonight. Kickoff in Kansas City is set for 8:15. On Sunday at the field in South Philly, Saquon Barkley, he's from Penn State, Grace.
Yes!
He had 150 yards rushing, 65 of those on this play here in the first quarter. 38-20 Eagles winner over the Giants, and the Birds are now 6-2 on the season. To Baltimore, Derrick Henry had 2 rushing touchdowns and leading the Ravens to a 30-16 win over the Bears, snapping a 4-game slide. We could see Lamar Jackson back in the lineup for the upcoming Thursday night game at Miami.
Coming up, back at home tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 6:30 p.m. Y-High taking on Kent Island in high school football. Then catch that final score at 10:30 p.m. along with Y-High football game. Here's what you can catch on DSN Plus. At 3:45 p.m., Padua Academy takes on Ursuline in field hockey. And at 6:30, Cape Henlopen visits Sussex Central in boys soccer. Also at 6:30, Hodson faces Smyrna, also in boys soccer. Had a rough week? Well, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and so much more. You can sign up now for free at coasttvnews.com/sign up to get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hopefully you had a great weekend, but it is Monday and we're here for you at 4 o'clock if you join us for Coast Life. We've got lots to cover, like a charity bike ride. We know we've got a lot of cyclists here along coastal Delmarva. We're also going to be introducing you to one of the latest faces that you've been seeing on CoastTV. And if you love a good floral display, we've also got the person that can arrange lovely flowers for you and your next event. All of that and so much more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Well, we're going to copy and paste the forecast we had over the weekend into our Monday. Sunshine and clouds, dry conditions, right around 60 degrees through the day today. But I am tracking some changes, and those changes arrive on Tuesday in the form of some rain, wind, and an even more significant storm system by the end of the week. I'll break it all down right after the break.
The time is now 6:40 a.m. as we're taking a live look into Laurel as the sun is just about to come up. And Chris, you say we are looking forward to a beautiful Monday on Delmarva.
Yeah, we're going to continue the beautiful weather we had over the weekend, at least for today, and then we're going to see some changes as we roll into Tuesday. And really for most of the week, it's going to be a rather unsettled week. We're in the lower 50s at the coast, 51 Bethany Beach, still quite cold further inland. We're at 39 in Seaford, 34 in Redden. Winds are calm for now, and we have that frost advisory. This has been primarily for interior portions of Sussex County, and that is up through 9 a.m. Gale watch up for the Delaware coast. That is up through Wednesday. We're going to be seeing some winds upwards of 40-45 miles an hour, especially off the coast as we go into the day tomorrow. And now a gale warning up from Ocean City through Assateague Island and Chincoteague. We are dry, tracking some light showers well to our south across Hatteras. Those are going to continue to push to the east. And this area of low pressure centered over Mississippi and Alabama, that's going to be advancing eastward over the day today. And then eventually off the Carolinas as we go into Tuesday. And with that high to the north and that low to the south, that's going to cause a pressure gradient, and we're going to see those winds really begin picking up along the coast. We're at 38 in Laurel. We'll be up to 54 by around 10 a.m. under partly cloudy skies. On our way to highs around 61, Laurel 61 in Georgetown, 59 in Easton to 61 in Salisbury and 63 Pocomoke City. Winds out of the northeast gusting 20 to 25 miles an hour through the day today, but you can see as we go into tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, they really begin to ramp up, and this could lead to some erosion as well as some coastal flooding issues, minor coastal flooding issues as we go into Tuesday afternoon through Tuesday evening. But we're going to see that persistent onshore flow at least through Wednesday and Thursday. Now we stay dry through the afternoon and evening. Through the overnight, we see clouds increase. Could see a shower far southern reaches of Delmarva. Most of Sussex County stays dry through Tuesday morning, and then by Tuesday afternoon, we begin to see scattered showers, some drizzle begin to develop across the area, and that will kind of continue into Wednesday as that area of low pressure sits to our south. Not expecting the rain to be all that heavy, at least with this initial low. It's Wednesday night into Thursday where we're going to see a more significant storm system roll in, and that will bring a heavier bout of rain as we go into Thursday afternoon. Could even have a rumble of thunder there. And the good news is we clear out just in time for Halloween on Friday. Now, rainfall could be as high as 1 to 2 inches, potentially even locally higher amounts as we go into Thursday night. There's Hurricane Melissa, a powerful Category 5 hurricane, packing winds 160 sustained gusts upwards of 195, expecting to make a landfall in Jamaica early Tuesday morning, and then we'll pass back over the Caribbean Sea and then affect the Bahamas as we go into the late part of the week. But the good news is it stays away from the East Coast and pushes out to sea. We're at 61 for your Friday. It'll be a breezy Halloween, but a dry one, and we stay dry and pleasant and mostly sunny through the weekend with highs around 62. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. A house fire broke out in Millsboro after a call for medical services. Look at these photos here. The fire ravaged the house. Indian River volunteer fire officials say at first just medical services were sent out for a person with severe burns. But once EMS arrived, they saw fire on two sides of the house, and they called in the firefighters. One person was taken to a hospital with burns. The other declined any additional care. And this morning, the Delaware State Fire Marshal is still attempting to determine its cause.
Looks like an intense scene there, Matt. Across Delmarva, improving emergency services in Easton. Over the weekend, the Easton Volunteer Fire Department celebrated the new A. James Clark Emergency Services Training Center with a ribbon cutting. Officials say the new building includes a classroom building, a practice pad for car fire extractions and traffic safety training, as well as a burn building for real fire drills and for law enforcement to simulate hostage situations, active shooter situations, and more. One Easton firefighter says the building is for all first responder agencies.
It's not focused on one specific group within the emergency responder group. It is focused on all of them. We look at it as basically three legs on a stool. All three of them operate together. We train together and we make calls together.
And according to officials, this is a first of its kind facility on the Midshore and a major upgrade for all first responders. It is now 6:52 this morning, and it's time to check in with our coastal pet.
Being our coastal pet of the day today, a belated happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Benny. 6 years old.
Yeah, turned 6 on Sunday. Hopefully he got some good treats with a cake and everything. And Benny was submitted to us, as always, by Tammy in Seaford.
Thank you, Tammy. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us photos and tell us what makes them so special to you if you take a look at your screen now.
That's where that QR code is, top center. Scan it, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is now 6:56 a.m. and these are the things that you need to know before you go. In Bethany Beach, they're working to fight erosion, but not on the coastline. According to the town, crews will begin the months-long process to build an 855-foot retaining wall along the Bethany Beach Loop Canal. That's to stop erosion and to protect the natural habitat. It's a project that is over $1 million. For years, those in town have said the Loop Canal has been a source of flooding.
Tonight, Georgetown Planning Commission holding a public hearing about getting cottage housing developments in the town. The goal of the Little Living LLC it's a Delaware-based nonprofit, is to provide 22 affordable housing units to people in the area. According to Little Living LLC, monthly rent for one-bedroom homes will go at $950, two bedrooms at $1,100, three bedrooms at $1,200, and all include utilities and internet access.
Well, some of our colder towns beginning in the 30s this morning. We're going to see highs right around 60 degrees this afternoon. A beautiful day, partly cloudy skies, winds a bit breezy, 25-mile-an-hour winds, especially at the beaches. But really, from a wind standpoint, only a taste of what's to come. We're looking at some higher winds tomorrow, gusts to 40. We have rain moving in tomorrow, scattered showers, and then we'll talk about a more significant storm system rolling in Wednesday through Thursday. We could see up to about 2 inches of rain out of that storm. But right now, looks like it clears just in time for Halloween.
Sounds like we got to enjoy this nice weather while we can then.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice weekend, and hopefully it continues.
Well, it sounds great. And thank you, Chris. Thank you for joining us here on CoastTV News Today.
Yeah, the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
And we'll have more on CoastTV News Midday.
And we'll see you then. Have a good Monday morning, everybody.